Hello, welcome and thanks for choosing this video course. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to manage your client expectation. So much work goes into winning new business regardless of the vertical space in which you work. There is the initial prospecting, early conversations, strategic program development, budget consideration, and creation of deliverables timeline. Unfortunately, all of that work can come to a screeching halt before the ink is dry on the contract, when the same amount of time, energy, and commitment isn't placed on managing the client's expectations after the business is won. After all, it's easy to keep a client when things are going well. Maintaining a client when times are tough is the true test of a relationship. From the very beginning of anything you're about to do, make sure you care about it. First and last impressions are everything, and it sets the tone for the working relationship. It's also flattering for a client if you've done your homework and are prepared to talk about concerns they have too. It doesn't matter how many awards your last site won or what you did with some other company. It only matters what you are doing right now and what you plan to do for them in the future. For extra points, get to know them outside of a business relationship. Strike up a personal conversation when appropriate. This will help you figure out what makes them tick, and you'll start to understand their motivations, and more importantly, they'll start to understand yours. Next is to work on your trust issues. Trust doesn't come easily. You can lose it at any time and never get it back. How do you avoid this? Just as easy. Say what you mean, do what you're going to do, and follow through on it. Hit your dates or just make sure you show up to work on time. And if for whatever reason you can't, make sure everyone understands why. Along these same lines, make sure everyone understands why you're doing what you're doing. Provide background for the most mundane of tasks. This will not only provide transparency, it will create buy-in to the work and give value to the little things that help make everything else better. I have long maintained that business people like working with people they not only respect but also personally like. Therefore, we believe that developing a personal relationship goes a long way in building a stronger business relationship. Get to know the client's family situation, how they spend their free time, where their interests lie, and most importantly, what motivates them on a daily basis. When you understand what makes them tick as a person, you can translate that into your business relationship. Do you know that a lack of communication is usually at the root of most problems associated with clients? Any good client relationship will be able to weather setbacks if you are proactive in communicating both good and bad news. When communication is direct and transparent, trust forms and helps to create a foundation for long-lasting relationships. Another thing you need to bear in mind is that until you and your client agree on strategy, goals, and timelines, you are always at risk of them not understanding what success is and how it should be measured. We always suggest creating a scope of work document that outlines the program details, budgets, and metrics. This will alleviate any confusion over expectations and hopefully eliminate a difficult conversation. In business, money is not a dirty word, although it will still be the root of all evil if you don't address it openly. Being open and honest about budget reduces any tension associated with it. And it also shows a client just how much something costs and what is required to continue. If this isn't addressed, you'll quickly find you have some unhappy customers, and you might end up having to pick up the check. Let's face it, information travels fast, and we can only absorb so much before we lose track. Like witnesses reporting the details of a crime, the information gets less accurate the further they are from when it occurred. As time goes by, people forget what was agreed upon or morph details into something else. So taking notes during these meetings and conversations is crucial. The paper trail not only serves as a reference for what was said, it also allows you to codify potential new requirements and provide instructions for what to do next. Post these notes in your collaboration tool of choice for all to see and refer back to them when times get busy or when lines blur as new things are added last minute. Next, it is to be a counselor. When you offer your client advice, direction, input, and business counsel, you become a truly valuable partner. This style of open dialogue helps to establish the respect necessary to ensure better project management. Clients hire outsourced marketing services because they want an objective opinion. If you fail at giving that POV, you are subject yourself to being a yes man or woman, which will ultimately be your undoing. Listening is one of the most misunderstood and least used tools in managing client expectations. Many clients are unsure of what they are trying to accomplish or not very good at articulating it. As such, you must have excellent intuition and listening skills in order to identify key messages being communicated. One of the best ways to compensate for a client who communicates poorly is to repeat what you have heard and ask them to confirm the accuracy of key takeaways, which will ultimately impact expectations. Last but not least, budget is not a bad word. Most relationships will go south very quickly if you are not open and honest about budgets. To start, you must be realistic about setting a clear understanding of the budget required to execute the desired program. Throughout the course of the program, you must have regular dialogue about budgets. If you don't address the client until you have an issue, such as operating over budget, you will not only have an unhappy client, you may also find yourself eating the overages. At the end of the day, your ability to manage client expectations is going to hinge on how well you choose to communicate. If you leave things up to chance, chances are you and your client will both be disappointed. However, if you take the time to listen, be proactive about communicating openly, and address any issues head-on, you will keep client expectations in check and be in a good position to grow your relationship over time.